Ever wonder how far some public servants will go to silence those who question them? In the heart of Nassau County, New York, a tale of intimidation and corruption is unfolding. It's a story that involves the highest echelons of the county's police force and a journalist who dared to ask the tough questions. 12 officers, one commissioner, and a journalist faced with a power play like no other. Why would a police commissioner send a dozen officers to intimidate a journalist? What is he trying to hide? Buckle up, folks. We're about to peel back the layers on this one. Let's find out. Imagine this: a peaceful day in Nassau County, New York, suddenly disrupted by flashing police lights. The streets, typically humming with the rhythm of everyday life, are now filled with the ominous wailing of sirens. The source of all this commotion? A journalist, armed with nothing more than a camera and a commitment to truth. This isn't your average police response. No, this is a full-blown spectacle, a show of force that seems absurdly out of proportion. Suddenly, the scene is swarming with law enforcement. Not one, not two, but 12 officers are on the scene. That's right, 12 officers sent to deal with a single journalist. A journalist whose only crime is asking questions, seeking answers, and holding those in power accountable. This response is more than just excessive. It's an intimidation tactic, a blatant attempt to silence a voice that dares to challenge the status quo. But the question remains, why such an extreme reaction? What are they trying to hide? What is so threatening about a journalist doing his job? All this for a journalist with a camera? So, our journalist friend, armed with nothing but his camera and questions, is suddenly surrounded by 12 police officers. Imagine 12 officers, all in uniform, glaring down with a stern look, their badges gleaming under the harsh sun, a clear show of power. They tower over him, their voices stern and cold, their words calculated to intimidate and suppress. They question his intentions, his credentials, his very right to ask questions. They tell him he's causing a disturbance, that he's crossing a line. They threaten him with arrest, with charges that could stain his record. And all this for what? For daring to seek answers? For daring to hold power accountable? This is more than just a show of force. It's an attempt to silence, to stifle free speech, to keep the truth under wraps. It's a chilling reminder of how those in power can misuse their authority to suppress those who dare to challenge them. But why such a response? What could they possibly be hiding? Behind this show of power lies a tale of alleged corruption involving none other than the police commissioner of Nassau County. It's a story that begs the question, who watches the watchman? Rumors swirl around Commissioner Patrick Ryder, whispers of misconduct that have yet to be put to rest. The allegations range from misuse of power to intimidation tactics. However, the truth remains elusive, buried under a mound of bureaucracy and red tape, hidden from the public eye. The role of a police commissioner is to serve and protect the community. But when those in positions of power allegedly misuse their authority, it's up to us, the citizens and journalists, to hold them accountable. It's not about vilifying individuals, but about ensuring transparency, integrity, and justice. This isn't just about one commissioner. It's about a system that allows such allegations to go unaddressed. A system that needs to be scrutinized, questioned, and reformed. But it doesn't end there. But it doesn't end. After the dust settles, the question remains, why such an extreme response to a journalist seeking answers? The aftermath of this confrontation was nothing short of alarming. A slew of court orders followed, each one more restrictive than the last, all aimed at silencing one individual. But is it just about one person? Or is it about the freedom of press and civil rights being threatened? Let's not forget the involvement of District Attorney Ann Donnelly's office, a public servant's office, deeply entangled in this web of obfuscation, adding another layer of complexity to the issue at hand. The DA's office, which should be upholding justice, seems to be working overtime to stifle it instead. What does this mean for us, the public? It paints a grim picture of the state of our civil liberties. It raises questions about the transparency of our public offices. It underscores the urgency of our struggle for accountability. So, we find ourselves at a crossroads. One path leads to complacency, the other to continuous pursuit of truth. The choice seems clear. The intimidation, the court orders, the bureaucratic red tape, they're all hurdles, but they're not insurmountable. The search for truth continues, no matter the intimidation.